You're acting like I'm cheating on you.
Are you?
This is crazy. So
Yes, it is crazy.
Jasmine's dirty little secret has finally come to light. She's been secretly hanging out with her ex behind Gino's back. How hypocritical. So, is there more to the story than that? Is it just hanging out, or have they actually been sleeping together?
When I want to have sex with you, you're never in the mood. You
No,
don't want
no.
me.
It's because you
don't wanna
argue
kiss
with me
and you have never.
all the time.
You reject me all the time.
That's so typical of Jasmine, turning things around and pointing her finger at Gino. But before we dive into the he said, she said of it all, let's rewind back to the start of this episode. So we left Gino and Jasmine last week after Jasmine's friend let slip the truth about her ex, Dane. The thing is, Gino doesn't yet know that he's also been paying for Jasmine to live in the same luxury apartment building as Dane. And it's not going to be pretty when he does find out.
Today, Jasmine and I are going to the Panama Canal. I've been dying to see it ever since I've come to Panama. Because I'm an engineer, and the canal is one of the greatest feats ever for engineering.
Look, I'm a firm believer that you don't have to be interested in exactly the same things as your partner in order to have a good relationship. But Gino and Jasmine still absolutely baffle me. They couldn't be more different. I'm yet to see a single thing that they have in common. And maybe that's why they're stuck in this incredibly toxic and unhappy relationship. But today, Jasmine is trying to make Gino happy because she's noticed that he's been acting a little weird.
Aren't you proud that it was your government, your country, the one who built this? Your country and my country has always have like a love history.
Jasmine's always been super proud about being from Panama, so her excitement for the canal comes from her patriotism. But just look at Gino's face. He just wants to focus on the canals. His excitement isn't to do with the country, it's to do with the feat of engineering. He is, after all, an engineer by profession. So he just wants Jasmine to stop talking so he can take it all in. He goes as far as to ignore her while she's talking to him. And I'm gonna guess that Jasmine won't like that one bit.
Baby, I'm talking.
Sorry.
That's
I hear some, okay. I'm just, this canal is so interesting, sorry.
Just shut up and let me enjoy it, is what the poor guy is probably thinking to himself. Even when they're trying to do something as a couple, a date that should be bonding them closer together, it's so obvious that they're on completely different wavelengths. Now, the question is Gino really just distracted by this nerdy engineering? Or is there something more to this? Is he deliberately giving Jasmine the cold shoulder?
Ever since last night, Gino is acting very weird. And I don't understand why.
Well, it turns out that Gino hasn't spoken to Jasmine about what he found out last night.
She dated in 2018, 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so right before she met me, kinda.
Kinda, yes.
Now, here's the thing. Gino's talked this good game. He's spoken lots of times about how he wants to fix their issues. He wants to communicate better with Jasmine. So why hasn't he? He seems to bottle up his emotions. He either can't express them or he's scared to say what he really thinks. And as a result, that's beginning to spill over into other areas of his life, like his sexual dysfunction. So is he finally going to seize the opportunity to say what's on his mind?
We need to work on communication. I'm trying to communicate to you right now.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Gino's little hand movement here looks like he's bracing himself for a big conversation. He's done with her talking to him like he's a child. He's done with her calling all the shots. And the news that he learnt last night is clearly eating away at him. So, okay, Jasmine, let's have this conversation about communication right here, right now.
With my ex-husband, one of our biggest struggles was communication.
I was with my ex-wife, and we never had any issues.
That's a brave move, Gino. We all know that exes are a touchy subject with these two, even at the best of times. But it's really refreshing to see Gino have a little pride. For once, he's willing to stand up to her. He's sick of her hypocrisy. The problem is, Jasmine doesn't like this. Her number one rule for Gino is to never talk about his exes. And even though she brought up hers first, she can't believe that Gino had the audacity to bring up his.
You think it's okay you can bring up your ex and I can't?
Because you know that I get mad when you bring up your ex.
It doesn't matter. If you can do it, I'm gonna do it. Then you'll know what it feels like.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Look at Jasmine's face. She can see that Gino means business. Something really has upset him. So they decide to shift location to somewhere a bit quieter. Now, away from the crowds is Gino's perfect opportunity to finally express what's upset him.
I've been a little concerned. I know you told me you're talking with Dane and he's just a friend, but you lied to me.
What?
Yura was saying that Dane is your ex.
Finally, Gino shared what's been on his mind all day. The fact that Jasmine was hiding that Dane is an ex has understandably raised some serious red flags with him. Why did she hide that from him? Well, immediately, Jasmine tries to trivialise the issue. She tries to make out like he's acting unreasonably. He's the crazy one.
You're acting like I'm cheating on you.
Are you?
This is crazy, so sure.
Yes, it is crazy.
Why is Jasmine acting so defensive? She, of all people, should understand why Gino's asking what he is. I mean, she'd do the same, only 50,000 times worse. Now, it's at this point that Jasmine starts to laugh.
I mean, like...
She claims it's because she's nervous. It's a nervous laugh. But I also think it's her way of undermining Gino and his concerns. She's trying really hard to make Gino seem like he's crazy, like this is all a laughing matter.
I don't think it's funny.
I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of you.
But the question is, assuming she's not lying, let's say this is really nervous laughter, then why is she nervous?
Like, what's going on behind my back? I have to know now, because when she comes to Michigan, it's too late. I don't want to find out after we're married. I have to find out now.
He's absolutely right. You can't blame him for that. But there's something about Gino and the way he's been so detached from Jasmine this entire season that makes me feel like he might also be looking for an out. Does a part of him hope that Jasmine has been cheating, just so he finally has a reason to run home back to Michigan and never look back?
I'm not cheating on you. He's just my friend.
You always told me that I can't be friends with my ex. You fly off the rocker even at the mention of my ex's name.
Now, it's at this point that Jasmine plays her Uno reverse card. We can't compare exes because I've never shared your nudes with my ex, she says. I'm sorry, Gino, but checkmate. She's kind of right. Now, it's very clear that, quite rightly, Jasmine still holds a lot of resentment towards Gino for what he's done in the past. You just don't get over a betrayal like that overnight. But, although clearly taken aback, Gino continues to press Jasmine for answers.
So were you alone with him recently?
Yes. We've been
yeah.
Because he's living in the same building as I am, and I just had coffee with him a few days before you come.
Jasmine's nervous laughter came back, and this time I don't think there can be any doubt. It's because she knows she's in the wrong. It doesn't matter that she didn't cheat. Meeting up with Dane for coffee and lying about living in the same building all this time is wrong, and she knows it. Gino's reaction shows that this has caught him off guard. He had no idea. Is there anything else you want to get off your chest? He asks.
We're not attracted physically
So
to each other.
have you had sex with him since you broke up?
We became like friends with benefits just because sex was good.
That doesn't make sense. Jasmine's just lying through her teeth right now. If there's no physical attraction, why would you become friends with benefits? Don't forget, we've also heard Jasmine gush on multiple occasions about how attractive Dane is.
He's handsome, he's rich. I mean, he has so many good qualities.
I feel more attracted to my ex even than to you.
Yeah.
And he's better looking than you. And he has even more money than you.
Yeah,
and he's young and he doesn't have sex problems like you do.
Yeah, right. Sure, Jasmine, you're not attracted to him. Do you really expect us to believe that? Not very convincing, is it? When Gino asks if she's ever thought about having sex with Dane whilst the two of them have been in a relationship, Jasmine jumps on this opportunity to change the narrative and criticise Gino for his role in all of this.
When I want to have sex with you, you're never in the mood. You
No,
don't want
no.
me.
It's 'cause you
don't wanna
argue
kiss
with me
and you have
all
never.
the time.
You reject me all the time.
They're both right, and that's precisely why they're so wrong for each other. Jasmine needs intimacy. That's how she feels loved. But Gino can't give that to her because he needs Jasmine to stop arguing all the time. That's the only way he'll feel close enough to her to be intimate with her. It's a catch-22 situation. When Jasmine admits to Gino that she still imagines and thinks about her sex with Dane, Gino can't believe what he's hearing.
I remember how it was like having sex with him. If our sexual life were better, then I will fantasize about us.
Unbelievable.
Jasmine's so happy to blame Gino, but the truth is, she's responsible too. It takes two to tango. Jasmine's constantly talking about how she needs sex, but the only way we've seen her try is by shoving her body onto Gino's. That or yelling at him. Neither of those approaches work for Gino. He's told her exactly what he needs from her, but she just hasn't tried to adjust her own behaviour in order to improve their sex life. So she really can't keep complaining about it or using it as an excuse now. It's got to the point where Gino is now questioning if it's even worth trying to fix their issues.
I'm losing my trust. And how are we supposed to get married without trust? This is bad. It's very bad.
Simple. You don't get married. And I genuinely hope for both their sanity and ours that they break things off as soon as possible. With Gino finally growing a backbone, maybe it's not out of the realm of possibility.